Okay, so now we're up to the Silurian period, which is between 441 and 418 million years ago. And on our cosmic calendar, this corresponds to November the 26th through the 28th. So on your animation, go ahead and let it play until you get to around 430 million years ago. And you should be noticing that North America is beginning to collide with Europe, and that's going to be pushing up the Appalachians. So if you remember from plate tectonics that whenever you have two continental plates and they collide, it's going to push up mountains. So the Appalachians are beginning to form at this period in time. Okay, what's going on though in the oceans are you have your first jawed fish. So what advantage does a fish that has jaws have compared to one that doesn't? Well, if you got jaws, you can bite, and you'd have the strength to be able to crush shells and things like that, so you can be more of a predator instead of more like prey when you're in the ocean. Okay, then on the land, you're having land animals such as arthropods, spiders, and you have the vascular plants. So what advantage does a vascular plant have over the previous kind of plant? So let's go back to the previous slide there. And so the non-vascular plants were mosses and lichens. Well, where do you find them? In moist environments on the ground. So they can't really stick up above the ground so much because they don't have anything to support their weight. So now that you've got vascular plants, you're starting to see them go further up into the air. Well, what's the advantage of going further up into the air? Well, you can be above all of those other plants that are underneath you, and then you get the lion's share of the light that's coming in. So that's what's occurring during the Silurian period. All right, so now let's go to the Devonian period, and the Devonian period is called the Age of the Fish. So it would have been kind of like the dominant life form on the planet at this point, and so you would have fish evolving in the oceans. You have the first sharks appearing. On land, you're having the first amphibians. So what advantage does an amphibian have over a fish? Well, it can get out of the water where most of the predators are at, and it can live on the land. Okay, there's also a lot of spiders, and you also have seedless plants like ferns and horsetails. So what advantage does a seedless plant have over the other plants that would have existed during this time period? Well, it is going to have its spores underneath the leaves so that they are better protected against the elements and better protected against predators. And so these horsetails, which today are very short and confined to wet environments, and during this time, these ferns and horsetails were the size of trees. So they might have been 10, 20 feet off the ground. And these would have been the dominant kinds of plants that would have existed back then. Okay, so let's go forward a little bit more into the Carboniferous period. As a matter of fact, let's take a break, and I'll see you in just a moment.